Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and this is how to become a very powerful strength build early on in Elden Ring. So first things first, for a class, I want a weapon in this instance with innate bleed on it because it makes life easier. If you don't pick a weapon with innate bleed on it, then make sure that you get a weapon with bleed on it fairly quickly in the game. We're going to pick the Samurai class in this instance because it's going to make life a lot easier. Since a lot of strength weapons, you need a little bit of dex anyway, so the high dex with 15 dexterity is not a bad thing. It's not going to hurt us. And we're going to take a golden seed for an extra flask as well. First things first, we're going to grab the map at Gatefront. Catch up at Gatefront, by the way, it's from the northeast of where you start. And then make sure you grab all the maps along the way so you can follow this guide accordingly. And we're going to head towards the Aguil Lake North Site of Grace. After you head to the Aguil Lake North Site of Grace, you're going to want to go to the ravine that's on the map there to the right. Inside the ravine, you're going to get invaded by an NPC invader, but don't worry, if you hang with him for a little bit, you're going to get help there. You're going to beat him and then go into the cave to the left of the NPC invader, Murkwater Cave. After which we'll have to beat Patches. Now beating Patches is kind of easy. The boss in there attacks after you open the chest that's in the room. After he gets to half health, he's going to surrender, and then afterwards you're going to exhaust his dialogue, and then you're going to pick Forgive and Forget because we need him to set up shop as a merchant. There's a few things we're going to need to purchase from Patches. The main thing we're going for here is gold pickled foul foot that he sells. It gives you 30% more runes for 3 minutes, and since right from the get we're going to go for some big prizes, we want to generally have that rune boost to get us even more runes and to level us up very quickly, have a little bit of a rune farm, and to become very powerful very early in Elden Ring as a strength build. After we talk to Patches and we buy the 3 gold pickled foul foot, we're going to take the transporter trap that's going to put you out in Mistwood. Once you're in Mistwood, make sure you grab the map that's there and then head straight north to the 3rd Church of Marika. Be sure to grab your Wondrous Physics, which is going to give you the ability to use buffs in the physic, and then grab the Sacred Tear as well so you can upgrade your flasks too. Make sure you grab the Site of Grace, and then soon we're going to start making our way towards Caelid, going through the back of the church and up the Spirit Springs. Now since we're headed directly east, the path here is kind of straightforward. Take the Spirit Springs up and then start heading towards the east, towards the red section that is Caelid. We want to build a really powerful strength build, and there's an easily farmable dragon out there that we're going to show you how to do, including a lot of runes that you can get, especially when using the gold pickled foul foot. Make sure you stay to the right when you're going to Caelid, otherwise you will get invaded by Anastasia, and then we're going to head towards the first Site of Grace in Caelid, which is Rotview Balcony. Then make sure you grab the Site of Grace, and then we're going to be going towards the northeast because we want to head towards Dragon Barrow. Dragon Barrow has the big dragon out there that we can farm, and even if you don't farm him, it's still 96,000 easy early game runes that you can get and honestly begin to use the stats to make yourself really powerful really early and go through the first couple of bosses fairly easy. And also in this instance, the build we're going to be building, you're going to be able to hit stuff like a truck. This is a very powerful early game strength build that's basically pure strength. It's very powerful, and we're going to grab the stuff soon for that as well. As you continue to go what I think is northeast, you're going to eventually go behind the dragon. Behind the dragon, I want you to note one thing very quickly. One very important thing if you're going to farm this. Use this a little bit as an exploit for now until it's patched. I don't know if it ever will be, but if it eventually is patched, you can always get 96,000 runes either way. You can also cheese the tree that's down there too. I have that in another video. I can leave that in the description. But make sure you grab this Site of Grace because you're going to want this. If you grab it after, what will happen is the animation will stop you from being able to use the exploit. So make sure you grab the Site of Grace beforehand, and then we're going to work on killing the dragon. After killing this dragon, what you're going to have to do is make sure your horse is slotted in, hop on the horse, and book it to the Grace as fast as you can. Hop off the horse. You can even do the last hit on the horse, and then sit at the Site of Grace. And as you can tell, because I got there before his dying animation was complete, I got 65,000 runes I'm sitting on for levels, and guess what? The dragon, which would normally be permanently gone, is still there and completely farmable. So what are we going to do with our first initial levels? Well, we're going for a pure strength build here. So we're going to go for a lot of strength. We always want some vigor as well. Health is very important in Elden Ring. And then we're going to throw a little bit in mind too. And the second time, we're going to let the dragon die permanently. Because at this point, I don't really need any more runes from him. I'll take the 96,000 with the smaller dragons permanently killing him. But you can continue to farm him if need be. For the purpose of this video though, we're going to move on and turn this into a really powerful build. The second time here, we're going to do the same type of thing. We're going to continue to work on vigor, make sure we have a little bit of mind so we can use Ashes of War special abilities. And then of course, we're going to level up strength as well. And then we want some endurance too, because the weapon we're going for is a little bit weighty. So if you want to follow me stat for stat, this is a really good setup early in the game that's going to turn you into a powerful strength build that can hit bosses for a lot of damage. And here we are. Time-wise, we're doing quite well. Now we got some items to go get, and we got a lot of items to go get, including the weapon that we're going to want. First things first, though, if you're a strength build, you want to be able to use the charged attack to its best ability. And in order to use the charged attack for its best ability, we want to get the charged tier, and the axe talisman, both of which will boost charge attacks, can be combined together, and with a couple other basic buffs that I'm going to show you in the beginning, can become very overpowered very quickly. That's where the charged tier was. It's in Mistwood, and also in Mistwood is the axe talisman. Be sure not to wake up the Rune bear, as he's not too friendly, and honestly, if you're new at the game especially, they're very, 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 very aggressive, so definitely avoid them if possible. And here it is at the ruins in Mistwood as well, and we equip the axe talisman too, and we have the axe talisman, and soon later we'll put the charged tear in our wondrous physic. Next thing up is determination. It's an Ash of War that we really want to grab for this instance because we can make the best of those charged boosts using this. It's going to give us 60% more damage on the next hit, and we're going to go next and we're going to get the great axe soon as well because it has extremely good AR. It's got a lot of attack. It's one of the best in its class. You can get it really early at this carriage in Limgrave after grabbing determination. This is a very, very good early strength build weapon. Try to not get hit too much. You don't actually have to kill the trolls. You just got to hit one, stop the carriage, grab it out of the carriage, and then try to make it there out of there alive. Even if you die, you'll keep the weapon as long as you grab it, but it's always best to try to book it out of there, and I'll show you where it is on the map here in a second. Both of these are heading south from Aguil Lake north. You're going to pick up determination first at the bridge, and then I'll show the map here in a second as I was getting chased by, I believe, that dragonfly. Here it is, that's where the carriage is. And then next thing that we're going to do is go to Weeping Peninsula. We're going to go to Weeping Peninsula because we want to buy a couple of smithing stones, but that's not the important part. Mainly because we're a pure strength build, but we want to do some buffs. We want to grab the Faith Tear. So we have that as well, allowing us not to have to invest any points in Faith for now, and we can decide that later on and continue on the path of pure strength. So the Weeping Peninsula does have the Faith Tear, and that'll boost Faith by 10 for approximately 3 minutes, which will gives you enough time to do buffs, because we're going to be grabbing Flame Grant Me Strength in a little bit too. And here is the Faith Tear in the Weeping Peninsula. After these plants go down, you're going to see it on the map. It's not too hard to get. Very easy. You can get this early game without running into too many difficult enemies. And there it is on the map in the Weeping Peninsula. Next thing that we want to do is we want to equip everything before we grab Flame Grant Me Strength. We want to make sure that we have both tiers equipped so that we don't forget about it. We're going to put in the Faith Tear so we can use Flame Grant Me Strength, and then we're going to throw in the Charge Tear as well. And you're going to get that in Fort Gale, which is the fort you can see to your right in Rot View Balcony. And Fort Gale has it. It's behind the whole fort, basically. You're going to go. There's going to be 2 of the fire-breathing, I don't know what they are, chariots or whatever they are. Just grab it real quick. It's going to be in between them. And then book it out of there, because honestly, if you're early game, you don't want to hang in Fort Gale too often. The enemies can kind of be tough if you're new. If you're making new characters, you might be all right. But in this instance, we're just going to get out of here because there's really no reason to hang around Fort Gale at this point. But we got Flame Grant Me Strength, which gives us 20% more physical damage and is an awesome buff to go with the Great Axe that we grabbed. And then next we're going to go grab the Ash of War Golden Vow, which you don't need faith for this one. You need 15 faith for Flame Grant Me Strength. And this is going to boost our attack. This is going to boost our attack 10% more on top of that 20, giving us a 30% boost. And then we have the Axe Talisman and the Charge Tear as well. And it's just on this knight. You just got to kill this knight in Limgrave. Not too hard to get. And you don't need it on the axe. You can put it on a dagger and it'll activate for about 45 seconds. So make sure you buy a dagger and a finger seal as well so that you can do Flame Grant Me Strength and other buffs later in the game. Then we're going to put the Golden Vow Ash of War on the dagger and Determination on our Great Axe. One thing real quick, by the way, if you're not subbed and you love Elden Ring, From Software games in general, or you just want to check out some really overpowered PvE builds, definitely check out the videos that are on my channel and be sure to subscribe. Now you want to upgrade your weapon, you can go to Limgrave Tunnels, and that's what we're going to do to upgrade our weapon, and you can get Smithing Stone 1s there. You can get them from the enemies that are there, and they're actually in the walls themselves. I'm not going to go through the whole guide of the tunnels, but go through it. You're going to need 12 in total to get your weapon to +3, and that'll give us a damage boost going into our first boss. And be sure to go back to the blacksmith to upgrade the weapon, and you can upgrade the weapon. In my case, I was able to get 2 Smithing Stone 2s, because in the Weeping Peninsula you can get 2, 1 picked up, and then 1 from the merchant at the very least. So we can put our weapon at +4, give us some more damage, and that's going to be a big boost as far as these bosses go. Don't mind me accidentally hitting the jump button there, but yeah, we're going to upgrade our weapon all the way up to +4, and then we're going to go take on Margit, the first boss. Now Margit can be a little bit on the tricky side. He's not really very easy, but he's not incredibly difficult either once you get used to him. He has erratic attacks, but with our what we were able to do with our strength build here, we're doing over 900 damage per hit, which is a ton. We use Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow before you walk in, and then we already have the Ash of War Determination on. I'm on Xbox. You would use L2 to activate it. 60% damage boost for the next hit. I believe it lasts 10 seconds. And we're doing a lot of damage with each hit on the Ash of War because we got that Charge Tear. We got the Axe Talisman. We got Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. And just a couple of hits, Margit goes down. Wasn't even difficult. Fairly easy to beat him with this. And we were able to even tank the last hit with the high poise and kill him fairly quickly. Regular enemies too, even without buffs, you can absolutely destroy with this. Given the fact that it's got relatively high poise, it's high damaging already for its base damage. It doesn't have the most fantastic scaling, but the base damage is great. And with each swing on the Ash of War, does a lot of damage. You're going to see it here real quick on the Grafted Scion, and I feel like in a lot of Elden Ring or Souls-like games, and I've played the Dark Souls series a fair bit as well, you're kind of always deciding whether to run through an area or fight in some instances, depending on the circumstance. But with a build like this, when you have a really powerful strength build, you're always willing to go in for the fight and get the kill in the instance there. As you can tell, because you're so powerful, you hit so hard, you want to try it out. And there he goes, the Grafted Scion, normally a tough early game enemy, just 2 hits with our boost and stuff, just 2 charged attacks with the Great Axe, and he went down very fast. That was really easy. And last but not least, we're going to show a little bit of Godric here, who takes a lot of damage from this build as well. I hope this video helped you. You can continue to farm that dragon, but do keep in mind, if the dragon is killed permanently, like per playthrough, it disappears until the next playthrough. So the only way to get it to come back if you're unable to do that exploit or be able to do that, and again, the 96,000 runes alone is sometimes enough, you would have to either start a new game or wait till the next game, but by the next game cycle, it wouldn't really help you that much to kill the dragon. There's better farming spots by then. So in this instance, maybe practice the dragon a little bit, like running back to the Grace, all that stuff ahead of time to make sure you have it down. Pay attention to this video to make sure that you have the dying animation down. You know what's happening when he's dying so that you can book it back immediately, sit at the Grace, and be able to farm that and get as many runes as you need early on and to become really powerful in Elden Ring really early. And as Godric goes down here very quickly, I'm just going to say one more time that if this helped you, definitely be sure to sub. There's a ton of awesome PvE builds on my channel. It's been growing. It's been fantastic lately. And as you can tell here, I'm going to show you in a second, We made really good time as well. That was pretty excellent time in an hour and change for all that, given the level and everything we got. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Hope this video helped, and be sure to sub.